Okay, it's Monday, March 28th at 3:33, and we'll start our Facilities Committee meeting. And with that, Mr. Lawrence, we'll start with item A1.
Yeah, that's an update of the AEAS, and that's the alternate EAS program that we're applying to with the U.S. Department of Transportation. We completed our application at the beginning of last week. I think we submitted it
Tuesday?
Well, yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So we sent a hard copy and an email copy of the application. We didn't have any issues with that. We had worked pretty well at getting everything we needed, and they acknowledged receipt of that. And what was it, 3 to 4 weeks before we hear an answer?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now we're in that waiting period. In the meantime, Stephanie arranged a meeting with the air carrier and their facilities person came up last Tuesday.
Yes, it was
last Tuesday, and she gave him a tour of the area or the airport, and Patty and I went out and met with him at lunchtime. There didn't seem to be many issues there. He was pretty pleased with everything that we had there. So currently, really, we're just waiting on that part of that. And then Patty has talked about when we get into the program, talking about finances and having liquidity to be able to pay the program. Patty's been working on that with a couple financial institutions to see what's available there. So I think you probably heard the details on that, but we're not ready to discuss that today on that. I think that's pretty much, I just wanted to give you an update on that. We pretty much,
Yes.
That's everything we've got so far.
Yes, and I did speak with Michael from the DOT today, and things are moving through the process.
Okay,
There have
and
been no stalls.
along that lines, I have let Senator Schumer's office know that they want to be apprised of our progress. So we've let them, basically I've given them just what I gave you there, and they're kind of marking the process so that if any issues come up or anything, they need help with that, they're looking after that. So we're glad that they're looking in on that.
Anybody have anything else? All
Yeah.
good?
It's good.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to item B, Port of Ogdensburg approval of base bid award. Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know what you have, I think you have in front of you we have a resolution for the April board meeting. This is all part of the Chrissy grant, the $1 million Chrissy grant. 800,000 of it would be paid by the U.S. Would be paid by the Chrissy grant, and the other 200,000 would be our responsibility. Currently, you've approved a loader and you've approved a rail conveyor, and we've got 2 other pieces of equipment. This one is a telestacker conveyor, which is a ship loading conveyor, but also we can use it when we're moving product in all the warehouses and stacking that, also stacking road salt or aggregate. So this is the big one. This one will be very important to us for other projects. Currently, we've had to rent and relocate or mob in, I think, let me see how many times, 3 times. We've had 3 projects over 5 years where in order to do them, we've needed a conveyor like this, either to load a ship or to stack fertilizer and things like that. So to have this on site will reduce mob charges, and also as far as it goes, we will be able to charge kind of rent for this in any of the projects that we have to pay us back. So it's I have checked with the supplier, they're good with it. The reason I'm bringing this up, and we'll have a special board meeting, I believe Thursday, is that they can only hold, based on the way the economic environment, they can only hold this price for so long. So to wait until April was jeopardizing the bid in the whole process. So I wanted, one thing too, I just wanted you to understand the finances of that. And where we are with the Chrissy grant funding. Patty's aware of this, but I wanted to pass that all off. That's just a summary of where we are with the grant.
Thanks, Steve.
As I stated, and you see the breakdown, you see the front end loader, the bid amount is there. You see the 80-20 breakdown of that total bid amount, and you see what happens there. Well, the delay that we've had in getting started with the Chrissy grant and the last 2 years with COVID and material supplies and escalating costs have eaten into that $1 million quite considerably. So I wanted to give a summary of where we're at, just so that, so when you talk about the telescopic conveyor, you'll see that I had 41% of this is going to be, is our, out of that 41% of the 439, because the Chrissy grant, the remaining money in the Chrissy grant is only 261,000, and we'll use all of that toward, it's not even 80% that we'd be going as. In other words, you see the maximum amount is the 80,000. So when you summarize all of these, and then the next hydraulic conveyor, the Chrissy grant will not cover any of that. And then the remainder would be all on us. Patty and I have talked considerably about that. We believe we're going to have a very good year at the port. The one issue here is, if this was all done at once and I was coming to you and all of that, you might say, okay, let's hold off, but we've already committed. So I can't back out. We can't back out now, which unfortunately leaves us with, trying to either to come up with the remaining funding for that. But it's still a good buy, but it's considerably a lot more than we wanted to spend on this project. When you look at it, we thought it'd be 200,000, and overall it's going to be end up another 420,000 beyond what we expected. And I know I did have a discussion with the board a while back, and I don't know if it was the previous year's budget, and I was holding off on some of that just because of that, but we also said we've got to start replacing our assets and upgrading with that. So we just need to move forward with that. So that's the big issue with the next two things that I'm bringing to you. This one, the telescopic conveyor, and then the hydraulic conveyor with that. A number of these were rebid, hoping to, but actually holding off on that didn't help pricing at all. In this environment, it went the other way. So, you think, well, we did get more people looking at it, but the prices weren't. And I think that was all eaten up with the economic environment, with inflation and material costs.
So pretty much after the telescopic conveyor, Chrissy grant's gone.
Correct. That's it.
So that doesn't mean we can't obtain other financing for the hydraulic conveyor
Correct. We can,
from wherever.
yes, we could go out looking for, I don't think we can go to a federal program for a federal program,
Right.
but we could go out looking for state additional funding, and maybe through rail, because this is port, we might be able to do that. I was just on the phone, that's why I was a little bit late with strategic development, and we were going through all of those things, and
Okay,
I didn't get into details, but that was something that I was thinking about. So the one thing we do have, this grant isn't complete until June of 2023. So we've kind of spread that out so the bills don't all show up at once. And we are entitled to go and ask for partial payment when the manufacturer comes out and says, it doesn't have to all be delivered here. They can say, we certify we've got 50% of the unit built. We would like this amount of money. We can go to the grant people and ask for that. So we'll still be paying the total monies, but it'll be a lighter shot on
spread over.
So these won't all come due at once, but by spreading them out, it might help us buy some time to be able to handle it a little bit better. We do have some alternate kind of strategies that we can go to. We'd rather not, but we're not going into it blindly thinking that and hoping. We do have some strategies for financing these.
Have we even received the front end loader yet?
No, August is the date they gave me on that, yes.
Much pleasure. Any other questions or?
Nothing?
Mhm.
It looks good.
Be afraid.
Yeah, I know.
I'll move the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, in a second.
I'll second.
Okay, moving second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not opposed, motion passes. That's the board. Is there anything else we need to cover?
Well, I haven't resolved the hydraulic conveyor on there. That's what we're still going here, but I went through that just because I haven't settled that. So that's all I have. There, I can update you a little bit on, you do know we got a $1.1 million grant to upgrade the rail at the port and the roof on P2. What that will require once we get the grant will be, we need to do an RFQ for an engineer, and I just wanted to make you aware of, I guess what I'm asking, should we do an RFQ for 5 years for rail and port kind of consultant, or would your choice be to just do an RFQ for an engineer on that project?
On the roof you're talking, or?
Yeah, the roofing, just for that one, if we get an RFQ, we say we want an engineer that can handle the construction inspection of the rail and installation of a new roof. And then when we're done, we have no more ties. I mean, we could keep giving them things, or would you like something like we do at the airport where we go for an RFQ, they do this project, but also they're here for another 4 years to do other projects that come along?
You know, I don't really know enough about it to know the pros and cons. I mean, just hearing the brief description, I'm erring more toward choice A. Seems like that would make sense, but I have no history of either.
Yeah, I mean, I can live with either of them real easy because we've never really had somebody down there. So just to take care of this project and find somebody is fine. I do think probably think long-term for capital stuff, kind of set the port up in kind of the mode that we have for the airport where, you know, we've got 5 years out, we have these projects set up and have maybe either some of it already engineered, ready for financing or funding.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be something you put into somebody's on their plate to do.
Considering we're not, we haven't finalized dredging and Dodge expansion, and maybe looking ahead, we've had last year was very good for storage of agricultural products and some of the buildings. I don't see why we would want to look a little bit down the line and maybe plan ahead, and maybe 5 years might be the way to go.
Okay.
I just like to do, because I see things changing on the Seaway itself.
Yeah, well, again, I don't have the experience to draw on to really even, so really I'll defer to you, Steve, yeah.
And in this regard, it's just that I've had more experience with, I don't know a lot of rail, and I do know that the engineers we have now for the port part of it, I'm happy with, but I don't know if they have the rail experience. The one thing 5 does for you is, you kind of grow together and you find out it's a good match or it isn't.
Right.
But generally speaking, I think with, if you can get some, say a New York State engineering firm that has experience with the rail division, with the DOT, the one thing about it, the port and the rail, there's not a lot of other, we're not in a huge competition in the state. They're relatively limited, so that money's out there is being divvied up or competed for by much smaller, or a smaller number of entities, that having somebody that has a good relationship would be part of that RFQ for that. So that might be one way to approach that.
Mhm.
Sounds good to me.
So-
I think I'm kind of the 5-year, I'd like
Okay.
to.
Okay.
It's time to plan a little bit. It's a lot going on.
And I think too,
Plan.
yeah, if you get somebody in, whether they're worried about a one and done, you might establish a good working relationship there. And the fact that we have a lot of experience with grants and then our portion of the funding. Hopefully that gets better. So I've got one pretty well done, but my only issue was, do you want to go 5 or 1 or single project? So what I'm gathering is 5 is good with everybody. Okay. I think that's it.
Anybody have anything else?
I do not.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Also
We're
move.
done. Okay,
Second?
second. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 3:52.
Oh, geez.
Did I get that right?
That could be,